This is a brief reflection from me on why open education matters. Not overly academic, because for me it's based on what seems logical to me and my experience. So, this is me. My name is Merle Hearns. I teach at Manukau Institute of Technology in Auckland, New Zealand. And again, this is what matters to me. First of all, looking at open access to education, I think my interest in open access started way back in 1982. I had a full scholarship with Anglo Transvaal Mining Company, and this involved doing some part-time work for them as a tutor in a big commercial kitchen. And I was teaching the girls who would go out to cook in the big mine compounds. And I realized a lot of the girls didn't want to be there. There were some very intelligent girls who could have become lawyers or doctors, but the opportunities were not there for them. When I got back to New Zealand, 1987, I started at Christchurch Teachers College. I had my teaching section in what they called Kingsley, which was a girls' home, boys' home. For those, a lot of them were street kids. Now, I realized there that many students just drop through the cracks. They are written off way before they even have the opportunity to get an education. I realized as I was going through becoming a teacher, working in the secondary education system, I realized that there were actually different experiences, different opportunities for different groups. Reminded me of a quote from Professor John Storin, and he said this: "The trouble with fairness is there is just not enough of it to go around." As from 2000 to 2016, I worked as a senior lecturer in Foundation. Foundation is like bridging or enabling, similar to the American Community College. Now, a lot of our students were Māori and Pacifica, and they simply had not had good experiences at school. The school system looked at them as potential dropouts, and many of them simply did not achieve in the education system. Now, seeing them succeed in Foundation was a matter of breaking down these boundaries to the education, building up their self-esteem, allowing them to see the potential, to have this growth mindset where they could see that they actually had a future in education. Now, open education resources, again, this has been something that's been very important to me. Now, although it's right through my teaching career, it started mainly in 2008 when I became part of the Second Life Education New Zealand project. Now, the SLENS project was sponsored by government funding. As a lead educator, I was responsible for 6 different institutions. Now, the whole process of SLENS was very public, very transparent. Every step of the way, everything had to be on the net, available for the public to use. Everything we built was CC licensed. With my SLENS lesson plans, I put these straight onto Wiki Educator, but I used Wiki Educator for a lot of other things as well. For example, I was given a Teacher Excellence Award, and my portfolio of lesson plans, I put all of those on Wiki Educator. For many years, I taught Te Tiriti o Waitangi, which is New Zealand's founding document, and my slightly more innovative ways of teaching that are on Wiki Educator, as well as hints for my literacy game. Apart from that, of course, I've used the normal things like SlideShare and YouTube, etc. Okay, recently things have changed a little bit. Sorry, my cat is just about to jump up. Although the SLENS resources were built in 2009, I was like a lone wolf in my institution. People didn't really understand what I was doing at Virtual Worlds. But recently the government has looked at the Level 3 programs across New Zealand, the Level 3 Foundation, And they've decided that there can be a national qualification. It was called a TROC process. And in this process, they decided an important part of their learning would be career preparation and interviewing. So, of course, all of a sudden, my build and my resources have become popular. I had people from the Career Centre come to me and say, well, look, even if class is not going through, sometimes students want to go through and practice. But there were no resources to guide them if they were not going in as a class. So I created a set of 12 videos which are available on YouTube, as well as some written information on Facebook. Okay, I created my own literacy game in Kitely. Now the idea for this, it took a long time to come up with the idea, but I recognized that there were literacy gaps that needed to be filled. Now my literacy game, the Mythical World of Hinatore, was built with Ako Aotearoa funding. So once the report was written up about my research, everything was made available on the Ako Aotearoa website, and everything that was built with CC license. And again, the sim is open. The sim with the game is open 24/7 and available to anyone and everyone. Alright, I'm now in the tertiary teaching unit, so apart from this year creating resources for social services, I'm now creating teaching resources for the certificate in tertiary teaching and for e-learning. With e-learning, I've tried to create things that are available on the internet. I've also encouraged my students, or who are my colleagues, to blog what they discover, to use things like Daigo and LinkedIn, and to join communities and to share in communities, because I honestly believe in collaboration and participation in community. Now, open textbooks is something I don't know that much about academically, but there are some things I can share that I believe intuitively. First of all, obviously, if you're not printing out an entire book or printing out workbooks for students, you're saving a lot of paper. So online seems to be the way to go, as long as you can establish the reliability and the validity of the information the students are accessing. Today, keeping up with information is really hard work. Especially, I've recently written a couple of articles, and if they're published in a book, by the time the book is published, the information is actually no longer current or up to date. So if you want to access the most current information, it has to be the information that is readily accessible on the internet. Of course, another thing is, at our institution, we had a very, very rapid and sudden move from Blackboard to Canvas. And this was done virtually over the holidays. Now, I'm a Canvas power user, so with the training I do with the staff, I try to encourage them to share the resources they make on Canvas Commons, because I think the more they share, the better. They've also created with me things on Edpuzzle, Quizlet, and these are again publicly accessible. Okay, now textbooks for my own students. This is something that's more personal to me. I have 6 children, 3 of them at university, and sorry, that was a bit of a technical glitch. My youngest is a medical student, getting a very, very heavy student loan. But if he can access his material on the internet instead of having to buy $200 textbooks, it's certainly a saving for me. All right, open research, open data. Very important to me. And again, this is based on the experience I've had. I've mentioned SLENS and how the whole process, the development process, had to be transparent, public. Every development stage was blogged about publicly. The literature review is available online. Our research report and all our data was available online. Even after SLENS was completed, I continued research, which again is all available online. My literacy game, the research process I went through with my literacy game is available on the Ako Aotearoa website. Now, I continued this research into working for my PhD, and in the process of this, I've done quantitative, qualitative research. The whole research process, again, has been blogged. The Mythical World of Hinatori, my game, is available 24/7. So I believe in open access, and I just hope that through this course I can get a more academic understanding of what I intuitively believe and feel.